On October 2, 2024, Typhoon Krathon, with terrible power, made landfall in Taiwan, China, causing heavy rains and strong winds that shook the island. With winds of up to 209 kilometers per h, Krathon has caused serious damage to people and property, forcing thousands to evacuate from the danger zone. The Taiwanese government is facing an urgent natural disaster crisis. Typhoon Krathon hit Taiwan's densely populated west coast, a rare event, as most typhoons typically hit the eastern side of the island. With maximum winds reaching 173 kilometers per h and gusts up to 209 kilometers per h, Krathon caused great damage, disrupting people's daily lives. The storm killed at least 2 people and injured 102, according to Taiwan's Central Emergency Management Center. An elderly man in Hualien died after falling from a ladder while trimming tree branches, while another man in Taitung was crushed by a boulder while driving. 2 others are still missing. The typhoon brought torrential rains, with up to 128 centimeters of rain falling in Taitung County in the 4 days before it made landfall, causing widespread flooding. The port city of Kaohsiung recorded 43 centimeters of rain, leaving many areas in the city submerged in water. Local authorities have closed schools and government offices across the island and canceled all domestic flights. About 40,000 households in several provinces and cities have been left without power, while roads have been blocked by fallen trees and landslides. To protect residents from the disaster, more than 3,000 people in Hualien County were evacuated from areas at high risk of landslides, while nearly 200 people in Tainan and more than 800 residents in Taitung County were also relocated. In Kaohsiung City, home to 2.7 million people, more than 2,500 people were evacuated from areas prone to landslides and flooding. The military, with 40,000 soldiers, was mobilized to assist in evacuation and rescue efforts, helping residents move to safe shelters. In Pingtung, families living near the harbor area used sandbags to block floodwaters from entering their homes. However, the water remained deep, forcing residents to wade through ankle-deep streets. After Typhoon Krathon was downgraded and weakened into a tropical depression, Taiwanese authorities quickly focused on overcoming the consequences of the storm. Although the wind speed has decreased, flooding on many roads and damage to structures still cause difficulties for people and authorities. Typhoon Krathon has so far left about 100,000 households without power and 129,000 without clean water. Immediately after the storm passed, power crews were mobilized to restore the grid. In urban areas such as Kaohsiung, restoring power and clean water has been a top priority, with the goal of full restoration within 24-48 hours. Water pumping stations and clean water supply systems were also urgently repaired, ensuring water supply to affected households. Infrastructure damage was also severe, with dozens of major roads collapsed, many bridges destroyed, and traffic paralyzed. In Kaohsiung, many high-rise buildings were damaged and windows shattered by strong winds. As of now, the government estimates that property damage could run into billions of NTD, equivalent to hundreds of millions of USD. Typhoon Krathon has left a devastating impact on Taiwan, with more than 200,000 households affected and hundreds of millions of dollars in financial losses. Although the storm has passed, rescue and recovery efforts are still underway. The government and military continue to work together to bring people to safety and provide relief. The aftermath of Krathon is a stark reminder of the power of natural disasters and the importance of storm and flood prevention. Krathon swept everything away. The streets are now nothing more than mud and rubble, abandoned houses and barreled pine trees. The sound of the waves of the sea still sounded, like the lamentation of heaven and earth. The people, lost but not succumbed, stood in the middle of the rubble, their eyes full of bewilderment at the dim future. Nature can destroy everything, but the human spirit will never succumb. If you want to keep following emotional stories like this, subscribe to the channel, comment, and follow.